This is the final video on making your very own wooden fairy house. In this video, we're just gonna add some finishing touches. We're gonna make fairies, we're gonna add flowers, and we're gonna add some odds and ends. I'm thinking of a garden, a picnic bench, some food, little things like that. I'm not gonna show each one of these step by step. Mostly I'll just show you the finished result so that you can get an idea of what I did. These things aren't gonna be very hard to do. So let's finish up this house. I'm very excited to see what it looks like. Alrighty, here is the finished product. Let's start down here. I added a platform and some stairs so we can get to this door. I added a little picnic table using some wood slices, and then I used some Sculpey that I made molds of and then used the resin to make some foods. I've got a cake here, which I will glue down, maybe. I have a little table here that's got some coffee and fruit, which actually I was thinking could go up here in the bedroom. It's a nice thing about this, it can move around. Here's my finished structure, and there is the bed up there. I've added a garden right here with, again, I made Sculpey and then made molds. This is just some kind of black rock that I bought, or I found, I think, at the dollar store with some sticks. And then when I put my shellac, I was really heavy-handed on the shellac, so it should be sealed in there. More stairs over there, I think we already saw that. I did add a climbing rope here, which is kind of fun. Just something else to do. Let's see, over here on the back side, I did have that door that I accidentally drilled that I didn't use as a door. I ended up putting a frame around it to make a window. There's my pond, of course. Here is the back side of that. I added a lot of moss down here. And you can see my little gazebo structure. I sprayed the entire flowers, all of the flowers, with a polyurethane outdoor spray. So that should hopefully keep them from falling apart. And then the big structures like this, I painted with the polyurethane so that it will seal up nicely and isn't gonna fall apart. And there is our structure. But there's one more thing missing. Fairies. You can't have a fairy house without fairies. Here are two different types of fairies I usually make for my fairy houses. For the fairy houses going outside, I tend to favor this one because the wood is much more durable than the string and handles the elements a lot better. Plus, this is a much easier fairy to make. I'm not even gonna do a video tutorial on this one because it's super easy to make. Just go to Michael's or get online and order one of these peg people, paint them up in the colors you like, take some fake flowers and snip off some petals and glue them on. That's it. Make sure you spray these when you're done with polyurethane so that you can protect it from the elements. Let me offer this little piece of advice though. Do not spray with polyurethane if you use Sharpie marker. The Sharpie marker washes off. Other than that, it's super easy. You can even use some fake flowers along the bottom to make a skirt. On this one, I didn't do that though. It's a little bit more challenging to make this fairy, but if you've got an inside house, totally worth it. They're adorable. I bought this little face at Michael's. You can order them online or just get a bead like this that has a hole in it. And I'm gonna take you through how to make this adorable little fairy. Okay, to make our wire fairy, I'm gonna get one of my little beads. This one already has the face painted on, much easier. And I'm gonna start by making the hair. Now, little kids love long hair on their fairies. And not only that, they love weird colors like pinks and purples. So you could certainly make your fairy with brown hair or black hair, but I have found that the little kids playing with my house, the crazier the colors, the more they like it. So I'm just gonna take this pink floss that's gonna be her hair and wrap it around 3 of my fingers like that. Bunch of times, cut it off. And then I'm going to snip it in half. So I've got some nice long hair. Next, I've got some 24 gauge wire, floral wire, that you get like in the flower section of Michael's. And I'm gonna pull off a piece, I don't know, about that long. What is that, about 12 inches, 14 inches? Bend it in half. And then I'm gonna tuck my hair halfway through, like that, and just give it a twist. Hold it on. And then I'm going to take the 2 ends and thread it through the top of my lady's hair. Boink. So you get that. Okay, now before I push it all away in, I'm gonna get my hot glue gun, which I've already heated up, and I'm gonna just put a little bead in there. And I'm just gonna pull it a little bit in like that, and that should hold it in place. I'll do something with their hairdo later. Right now I just gotta get it stuck in there. So right now I have this 2 wires and I have her face. I'm gonna bend it where my arm is gonna be, about how long I want my arm. You see that? And I'm gonna do the same on the other side and just kind of twist the wire so that it continues down. Oops, I'm losing hair. So that I've got that going on. And then I'm gonna just give it a couple twists to be the body. And then the legs, that's gonna be a big fairy. Okay, and then the legs, about there. Just gotta be able to fit in my bed. Okay, whoops, gotta make those even. It's always hard to make her legs even. There we go. So I have basically a little stick figure of a fairy, see? And now we are going to wrap her. All right, I have here a nice neutral colored yarn that I am going to just stick on there. Try not to burn myself on this glue, which I always do. That does not feel good. And then I'm just gonna start wrapping. Around the body, the bodice, at this point I'm gonna make kind of an X pattern to sort of thicken it up a little bit. See? And now I'm gonna head down the arm. All right, I accidentally turned the camera off, so I didn't get this next part on video. But basically, when you get to the end of the arm, put a little dab of hot glue on the hand, don't burn yourself, so that it holds it in place, and then head back down the arm, and do that to the other side. Then come back and head down the middle section. Add a little bit of hot glue in that middle section so you can thicken up that tummy just a bit before heading on to the legs. All right, I've wrapped the legs the same way I wrapped the arm, putting a little glue at the end. Keep it from unraveling. Same with the waist. And I did wrap the legs twice to make them a little thicker. And then I'm also gonna come back around the crotch area and just kind of make a crisscrossy thing to make that a little bit thicker. And then come back up to the chest area and the waist area and just maybe add a little thickness to it. Okay, finish it off with some hot glue. And that's her basic body. Okay, we have our basic body. Now we need to add some clothes. And we're gonna do that. First, we're gonna wrap some more around the body to be the colored clothes, but I've got a couple different dried flowers, fake flowers that I've pulled apart that can be skirts. So I need to figure out what color I want. And I gotta tell you, I absolutely love this purple. So I think the purple's gonna be the bottom skirt. So maybe the top shirt can be a green. So we're gonna get some green embroidery floss. And I'm just gonna put a little bead on her chest to start my wrapping. And I'm gonna crisscross before I continue wrapping. All right, we're gonna finish up again with a little bead of glue gun to the chest so that I can cut that off. And I can add her little skirt. So this flower already has a hole in it. I am going to just widen that hole a little bit, like that, so that I can slip it around her waist. So I'm gonna apply a little bit of glue right around the waist area, and then I'm gonna come at it with my flower. So now she's got a little skirt. I can certainly fancy that up by adding a second color here. That's cute. Now I could also wrap her feet with some little colors to make slippers or whatnot. I'm gonna leave her feet bare, I think. But let's put her wings on. For her wings, I have flowers that look like this. By the way, I got all these on sale at Michael's. You just wait for the sales and you're good to go. I like to find one that's got 4 petals on it. It's just easier. Pull it apart. And I can just glue it on like that if I want to, or there's that little hole in the middle that looks a little weird. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut down the middle and just overlap them. Again, using my glue gun. And there she is with her wings. Now I gotta do something with this hair. So I can either just glue it down like this, or I can braid it. I'm not very good at braiding, so I think I'm just gonna glue it down. And now my little fairy is done. And now our project is complete. We started with wood and logs and created an amazing structure with fairies and doors and ponds. How cool is this? With a little bit of upkeep, this thing can keep going. If stuff falls apart, you should know how to fix it. You built it. As far as how long these things take, if you include drying time, you can create one of these in probably a week or less. Thanks for joining me on this journey of creating a fairy house from beginning to end.